What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe Tower 3 Exterminate because that's what I felt like doing for this particular video. So, we're going to talk about loading out, setting up, if you will, a bit more. You know, obviously I do set up videos, and, you know, so do so many other people, and everybody has their own way of doing things, of course. But I kind of want to address this in a way that maybe people understand it a little bit better about how I do what I do and why I do it, I guess, maybe. And basically, I know I'm going to get hate. I've got a few subscribers who all they do is hit the dislike button immediately. But so the thing is, you guys, if you've been watching me long enough, you know that I generally do like one setup for each weapon or frame or whatnot. Sometimes two, like Excalibur, he's got two. But 9 times out of 10, I'm running my melee setup Excalibur, just because I like to use melee a lot. But and I will make sure that I post some of these numbers that the sheave are hitting consistently to show you a bit about how good the sheave can actually be. And hopefully some people got it. But nonetheless, so we're talking about like custom loadout, best loadout maybe, if you will, and how it works. And yeah, when you watch the videos, you see me do one weapon or one frame and say this is how I like it and this, that, and everything else. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I get a lot of comments about, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to build it, you don't know how to mod it, I would use this element or I'd use that and this and that. What you're not taking into consideration, for me, what nobody ever seems to take into consideration is my full, complete setup. And I've mentioned this a couple of times. Complete setup. This means, what am I actually running with throughout... Oh, great. Arbiters. Joy. We'll use the sheave on them. What am I actually running? So, in this setup, I've got Excalibur. I've got the Quanta Vandal. I've got the Comac. And I've got the sheave. Things are going to get a little slow here for a second. And like I said, I'll throw some screenshots up in case you can't see them of the consistent numbers that I hit with the sheave and my setup. Just because I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to throw on the screen like my numbers, if you will. So Excalibur Prime, where I got 130 power, strength, range and efficiency, and duration are all at 100%. This again, I'm using a melee setup, so what's actually behind the scenes is a little bit different. You can look at my Excalibur Prime video, of course, that I've got posted recently, and you can see that. Shield, power, health. Okay. Beyond that, after that, you've got my Quanta Vandal. So we'll start with the Quanta Vandal in terms of how I'm setting up. So you're going to see gas and magnetic on here, really solid numbers. We know high status chance. We know that the right-click alternate fire is a blast damage, so we're covering magnetic, gas, and blast with this weapon. Okay, I'm carrying the Comac, which I still have to do another forma on. And the Comac is consistently carrying a corrosive, okay, with a high slash and nice 50% status chance, so it's going to proc a lot anyway. So now you've got gas, magnetic, blast, and corrosive covered, if you will. Okay, the sheave I tend to run with the viral and the heavy slash. The sheave does not have life strike on it, not for this particular setup anyway. I do have the Quanta Vandal build that I recently posted. I do have a sheave build that I've posted. I do not have the Comac build because I got to do at least one more forma for Comac as well. And then finally, you've got the other thing too that you forget. I've got my Helios. Now I've done a Helios build very recently, which is the Sentinel that I run the most these days. Okay, so you got your Helios, and then you got the Deconstructor, which is the melee weapon, if you will, of the Helios. So currently, with the new Voltaic Strike popped onto this, you can see my numbers are pretty solid. Rival 214, radiation 132, impact damage 209 with an 85% status chance. So, loadout. It's always about a complete loadout for me. That's what it's always been. Focus on certain things, mix and match a bit. You know, like when I'm running my Bratton Vandal or my Bratton Prime, they're a heat setup, so I may switch around my secondary or my melee again to match up with that, just depending upon how I want to run. And of course, I've always got radiation and viral and impact from my deconstructor. So these are things that, you know, this is what I'm talking about when I put a build together. What you're seeing is you're seeing one weapon. You're not seeing a full setup for a particular run that I'm going to go do. You know what I'm saying? And those are things that maybe should be taken into consideration, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but yeah, I'm talking about loadouts. Okay, so on the whole, when you're looking at something separate, one part of it, for me, okay, because I don't generally build the Grenier, the Corpus, the Void, you know, the Infested builds or any of that. I never have. I always like to do a nice straight overall. I can take it with me. I can quick combo a setup in the loadout screen that I really like for a particular run. And of course, you also got the sheaf too that does the heat damage on the ground slam. So you can't forget that. We got the heat in there as well. So we got a little bit of everything going on, as always. And that's what we're talking about when you see me running. And so I'm going in it to have fun. But it's also strategic for me. I mean, it's not... You can't say it's not strategic. Why would I want to go in and have my ass handed to me over and over again, right? But when you look at things, you're only looking at it as the picture of what you can see. So it's just a theory, just a thought. I don't know. Hopefully I relayed that over in how I wanted to say it, I guess. I don't know. I don't freaking know. I don't care. I'm just having a little bit of fun in here, but... Like I said, it's all about loadouts for me, right? I don't do ABC builds, never did. But I do Warframe, weapon, Sentinel, or Kubro if I'm in the mood for a Kubro, but not 100% fond of Kubros. For me, my Sentinel is where it's at. But, you know, maybe someday I'll be able to take the time and rework every single one of my Kubros to get them all formed up, because it takes a lot of forma for those puppies, if you will, to get them all loaded out properly. And again, you know, you got things like augment mods that you can take into consideration as well. You know, there's so many things to a setup for me that it just makes it more convenient for me to, and I think about where I'm doing and how I'm doing things, you know. So no, I don't tend to run the ABC Corpus, you know, infested, this, that, and everything else. But I do run all of my elements pretty much all the time, unless I'm doing like a straight up melee, then it might be a little bit different. But you know, I think you get the understanding. And I kind of just wanted to talk about that for one video at least, and maybe I'll do some loadouts that I like best, like putting combinations together of weapons and frames and stuff. Maybe we'll see about that in a you know, next couple of videos or something. I don't know. Anyway, till the next video, thanks for watching. See you soon.